life.
So I see you're smoking a cigarette.
That's about the only drug that I do. I gotta keep one vice in my life, and that's it.
So you don't drink?
I drink.
So you got 2 vices.
Okay, so I have 2 vices. So you gotta have a condom.
So do you believe in condom distribution? Are you for that?
Yes, I'm completely for condom distribution. Because everybody's gonna have sex.
And you want it to be safe?
Yeah, definitely.
So if everyone's gonna do drugs, don't you want them to be safe?
Yeah, but it's not as...
The same thing, you know it is, I can see it. This is my set, The Streets of America. I'm gonna talk to real people and let them tell you their stories. As a lawyer, I believe in giving you all the facts so you can make up your own mind. But just because I have a law degree doesn't mean I don't have my own opinions. And I'm not afraid to get my ass kicked for sharing them. And neither should you. That's right. Our own President Bush got through the entire campaign without ever fully addressing his own drug history. But for you, the lowly college student looking for financial aid, the answer is mandatory. How whacked is that? On these federal financial aid forms, you don't have to admit if you've been convicted of murder or rape or any other felony. But you've got to fess up if you've had one tiny little bit of pot in a pipe. So you could be an axe murderer and still get your funding. But pot, no dice. Take it up with the Department of Education, no problem.
So technically, your form doesn't require information about any other convictions. So someone who's been convicted of rape or murder could be eligible for financial aid, right?
Well, yes, but those persons don't exist statistically. They'd be in jail and not applying for financial aid to go to college.
Yeah, okay, fine, good point. But I mean, if someone's been convicted of a DWI, which is arguably much more dangerous than someone who's caught with a joint, they're eligible too. I mean, do you see the problem here?
Well, yes, but that really is different. You see, the federal government is really more concerned about keeping drug use off of college campuses.
Yeah, but alcohol abuse is okay.
Well, look, I don't make the law. We just enforce it here. I see your point.
That's right. The Department of Education didn't make the law punishing students for drug convictions. Representative Mark Souder from Indiana did. But even he agrees that the law as passed isn't fair. His original intent was not to punish students with prior convictions, but to try to deter current recipients from using drugs. Whether or not it was Representative Souder's intent, there are a lot of students out there like Marissa who are paying a heavy price for their mistakes and trying to scrape together enough money to go to school. Which actually gives me a really good idea. Bake sale! Come on! Tough crowd, come on, buy some damn food! So we're setting this up to raise awareness for Students for Essential Drug Policy and maybe make some money for people like Marissa who lost her funding. $10 for one brownie. Just make me an offer. Yeah, these are really good. Making some money.
I mean, you get enough breaks, you know, I think it's very fair, you know.
If you're rich and you got a drug conviction, you still get to go to school. But if you're poor, your financial aid gets yanked. So maybe there's kind of like a hypocritical element to the law.
Wow, that's, yeah.
A little bit of a double
That's
standard.
True, yeah.
All right, I think I've been patient enough. I think I've looked at this story from every possible angle. Now it's time for my own personal opinion. This law sucks. Not only does it punish a student twice, it's fundamentally flawed in that it discriminates against those students who need financial aid most. Hey, is it fair that a rich kid with a drug conviction doesn't even have to deal with this? No. This year, thousands of students are expected to lose their financial aid because of prior drug convictions. And by the way, even though the Department of Education just started enforcing this law, it was passed under the Clinton administration. Yeah, but he didn't inhale. Marissa's story is a scary indicator that the so-called war on drugs is now setting its sights not on dealers or traffickers, but on you. If you want to find out more about this policy, or even if you agree with it, log on to our website and find out how you can take action. We've got ready-made petitions that you can print out and sign and send to your local congressman or woman, no matter what side you take. You have the power, use it. Tonight we're also talking about the fact that ecstasy creates toxic waste when it's produced. Wait a second, don't give me that shih tzu. If ecstasy creates toxic waste when it's produced, then you can't have it both ways. If you take E and you're concerned about the environment, then you got something to think about. Tonight on Town Mall, we're going to Holland where most of ecstasy is made. And we're gonna go to these E labs and we're gonna find out where they're dumping this shit and how it's affecting the environment. Coming up on Town Mall, we're gonna talk to Leilani Rios. She's a college student who got kicked off her track team because her coach didn't like her night job. Stick around. Dropped from her track team because her coach thought stripping was a sin? Hold on a second. You see, there's this little law called the First Amendment. And the First Amendment not only protects your right to freedom of speech, but a freedom of expression. And dancing and stripping fall into that category, even if it's at a classy joint like the Flamingo Theater. You know, it's really hard to find people who agree with what Coach Elders did to Leilani. Well, that's probably because this story isn't about whether or not you think stripping is a good thing. It's about your rights. The First Amendment protects us from people like Coach Elders who want to tell us what God does or doesn't want us to do, especially while going to school at a state college. That's called separation of church and state. If Coach Elders doesn't like it, he should save it for his Sunday sermon. This ain't Footloose, it's America. Know your rights, because the next time, it's going to be you that gets screwed. So if you were the coach, would you kick her off the team?
Yeah.
Do you go to strip clubs? You know you don't want to admit it.
Long time ago, but
yeah.
you know, I stopped going there. So.
What, like last week? Do you have a second to answer a question? Hey, if you don't like what I'm saying, then take action. Vote. Change the laws you oppose. Because if you don't take a stand for what you believe in, then you're just going to have to live with it.
Can I take a picture with you?